Well, boys, we had some very interesting games this weekend. Actually, I wanted to start it out with, well, obviously, this is a mid-10 Friday Night Football, the reporter show. We got our main man, Jeff, the real deal from the Murfreesboro Post. We got Keith, I'm always ready on the radio, Cannon Courier guy. And so let's get after it. Like I said, we had some interesting, really good competitive games. And Jeff, I wanted to kind of ask you first because you've been a big Eagleville guy, and they actually had a good showing. I mean, they lost, but it
Yeah,
looked like
they
they had a
they
good
went they
showing.
went to Memphis. They were I didn't do any games last week, but I was following different games. They
Okay.
were up 7-6 at the half, and they just couldn't get the tying score. We lost 14-7. But a long bus ride for them. And like I said, they went to
Yeah.
McKenzie last year, lost the second round, but they had a good showing against them. I don't know how good Memphis. They probably didn't know much about them. I don't know if they
Yeah.
got any film. I assume they got some, but it's a team they didn't know much about. And now Memphis Middle College, it's their first time ever in the quarterfinals. They've never been this far at
Who,
all.
Eagleville or
Oh, Memphis Middle College, the
Memphis,
team they
the team they
play.
lost to?
It's
Okay.
a, it's a prep, it's a
Middle
college
college.
prep school, and they've never been this far in the football playoffs. They've never been in the quarterfinals before. They've never
Okay.
been past the second round. So now
Yeah.
I can't remember who they played. I was trying to write some games down, and I know they're playing. It's their first time.
Fayetteville. They're playing
They're going
Fayetteville.
to they're going to Fayetteville. So that's a long ride for them. It's
Mm.
about a 3 hour ride at least, maybe 3.5 hours. I
What's
don't know
in
on
What's
what
interesting, you're talking
the
about
traffic and
Fayetteville.
thing.
Fayetteville, I mean, they beat Wayne County and then they turn around and they beat Dresden pretty or is it Dresden?
Yeah,
They beat them pretty handedly.
yeah,
So,
And
Dresden
Dresden
was the
was the
number one
number one
seed
seed
in that
of
area
Region One.
region. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So gonna be interesting coming out there. Uh Keith, man, man, you're 1A. I mean that's kind of your wheelhouse. Who do you think is making a decent run right now? I mean,
Well,
you got
actually,
Clay
I'm in
County.
2A.
Oh,
2A is one I am, but we can talk
you're
about
still familiar
1A.
with, yeah.
Yeah, we could talk about 1A. Coalfield is going to be a big team to reckon with. They're still in the playoffs. They were the number one team out of Region Two, but they were 8-2. One of those losses was to Gordonsville,
Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow. Yeah.
21-20, first part of the season. They've got Sale Creek. I think they'll beat Sale Creek. Clay County, man, they're rolling right along too,
Yeah.
aren't they? They
Yeah.
whooped up on Midway, 52-21, made it look easy. And like I said, I don't know if two kids, they're brothers, the Adams family is what they call them down there at Clay County. But those kids, those two can take over a team. And that's what they're doing. And of course, they've got a tough test coming up this Friday against South
What
Pittsburgh.
what year are those kids? What year are the
There's both seniors, both
okay.
seniors.
Do they play
So
basketball too? Just curious.
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. And
They go
they're going
to
to have a
South
big hole
Pittsburgh.
to fill next year. We'll see how
They go to South Pittsburgh, don't they, Keith?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
boy,
believe
South
so.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
rough place to play down there.
Yeah.
Boy, that stadium's beautiful down there, South Pittsburgh. Now they don't mess around down there at football down there. They don't mess. And when you spell it, it's without the H, not with the H. Everybody
Uh,
thinks
you're right.
everybody thinks it's like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's
Yeah.
without the H.
Okay.
Pittsburgh. Everybody
There you
just need
go.
to learn that spelling. Y'all need to learn how to spell out there. Y'all learn spelling and grammar. But
And they
they're
got a
really good.
pretty
They
good
got a
little
really good
country
tradition.
music station down there that I listen to when I'm driving to Chattanooga for a ball game too.
Okay.
That's pretty cool old country music, the 80s and the
Oh
90s
yeah,
style.
Conway Twitty
Yeah,
and
yeah, there you go.
so
At
yeah.
any rate, in 2A,
Yeah.
Bledsoe County's still
Let's go to
alive.
your wheelhouse in that one. I
Yeah,
apologize.
Bledsoe County is still alive. They barely beat Happy Valley, and they're going to be playing Eagleton. Eagleton ended Grundy County's season 17-6 the other night.
Hmm.
Marion County and Gordonsville. That's going to be the game to watch in
Yeah,
the
Marion County is
quarterfinals.
yeah, Marion County made it. Were they division? Are they the defending champions from last year?
They were
Yes,
three
they
A,
are.
weren't they, Keith?
Yeah, they
They were
were in
three A,
3A.
weren't they?
They were 3A last year, and they were defending champions. They were state champions. They're playing Gordonsville, and Gordonsville's rolling right along. They had no trouble with Oneida. Well, actually, they did have some trouble with Oneida. Oneida gave them a good game all the way up till the fourth quarter. I was looking at the scores, and
Okay.
Gordonsville was able to pull away from there. East Robertson, they beat up on Peabody to continue their trek to the state in the state championship, and Milan beat Mount Pleasant. That wasn't too much of a surprise to me, but Milan had a 9-0 record. Mount Pleasant was
And
8 and
two.
2.
Wow.
Yep. And East Nashville is still alive, and the East Nashville is 4 and 5, and they beat an 8 and 2 Fairleigh team. Now they've got to take on a 9 and 0 Milan team.
What kind of off season or not off season, but who was their non-conference schedule in East Nashville? Did they do kind of a like a CPA and a Pearl Cone type of
I'm not for
conference
sure
schedule?
what they did.
Well,
I think
East Nashville team that ran into Alcoa about 3 years in a row, lost in the state final 3 years in a
Yeah,
row with
yeah.
Alcoa, all them runs they've had. So they've got to go to Milan. They got to make that trek west. They got to go to Milan this week. And you talk about Milan's got tradition now. John Tucker, the rest of all them people, they don't mess around football over there. They're a good football team. I mean, Avery Williamson played there, played for Kentucky, played in the NFL. That's just one star that's played over there. They've had a bunch of good players over the years, a bunch.
Hey
A
Keith,
bunch
so
of good
Marion
players.
County won it in 3A last year. How did they drop down to 2A?
because of the
Enrollment,
size enrollment. Yeah.
enrollment,
So
enrollment.
they opted up in three. So you
No,
can opt up.
you can opt up if you've got the numbers,
That's what I was okay. So did
but
they
they didn't
opt
have the
up last
numbers,
year? Did
so
they
they
Yeah,
opt
they
up?
went down
dropped
in
down.
enrollment. They went down.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it was just strictly an enrollment thing that
Yeah,
affected
they
it.
Right.
went down in enrollment. Their enrollment's down.
What
Interesting.
is it? Every 4 years?
This right here is 4 years. It's usually 2 years, but this one's
Yeah.
4 years here. This one's
Okay.
Yeah.
4 years.
Interesting. All
So
right.
we go down
So
2 years.
who you guys got an idea of a Final Four in that one? Jeff, have you been doing any kind of studying on the 2A?
I looked at it. I know Bledsoe County had been in of course, only second time in the quarterfinals for Bledsoe. So I'm not sure how good a football team they got, but like I say, they beat Happy Valley. I would say Mile will be in the Final Four. I think they're going to beat East Nashville that long road. It's usually them long road trips. It's pretty rough to win on the road. You make that long road trip.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Mile in the Final Four at least.
Okay.
I don't know about Bledsoe County. I don't know if they can win their opponent and get the semifinals. It'd be the first time they'd ever make it. Keith, you think they can?
Well, they're at home, and Bledsoe County always gets some home cooking when they're at home. So they're going to play Eagleton at home. So I'm picking Bledsoe. I'm picking Marion County to beat Gordonsville.
Okay.
I'm picking East Robertson, by the way, who's 10 and 0 now.
Yeah.
Well, they're 12 and 0 now
Yeah.
to beat Huntington, and
Oh, okay.
I'm picking Milan to beat East Nashville. So those are my final four and 2A.
Okay.
So
that
this
sounds
is when like I said, East Nashville is a 2 seed, Milan's a 1 seed, East Robertson is a 1. Huntington is what a 2. Yeah, it's pretty much when you get to this part, it's going to be 1 to 2 seeds for the most part. You're not going to see too many threes squeak through. So
Yeah, but Mile and Huntington, that'd be two West Tennessee teams there. So they make that long trek. Whoever makes that long bus ride to Chattanooga, airplane fly, whatever. They're gonna make about a 4 or 5 hour Chattanooga because like I said, be staying overnight in Chattanooga. Chattanooga's gonna like that if they get one two of them in there. They'd be like, come on, stay in them hotel,
yeah.
stay up there a couple of
Well,
nights and spend some money. They'd
Well,
be
let's talk a
liking that
little
there.
bit about that East Nashville. You mentioned who did they win? What was their schedule like?
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like Pearl Cone. At the
Yeah.
first of the year, you had four teams, Antioch, Beach, and Springfield that they played, and they
Woo.
lost. They started out the gates 0 and 4. They lost to Springfield by a point. They lost to Beach by 3 and lost to Antioch by 5.
Okay, that's a very impressive. I mean, you went 0 and 3, but to keep it
The
competitive
Beach is still
against
in the
those three
playoffs.
teams and all three of them. Well, Antioch just got bounced out, and I think Springfield just got beat too, right? No.
I
Yes, I
think
think they
so.
did. I think
But
Springfield got beat.
Beach is still in though. They're still
Yeah,
in
I
the
know
playoffs.
Yeah.
Beach is. Well, we'll get to
Beach they still in.
we'll get to 5A in just a minute. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, that's a very impressive, you know, showing against some really teams that are dominant in Springfield and Beach and who'd say the Antioch, obviously. Yeah, I remember that one was like a really close game, decided like in the last minute or so. So
And they lost to 10. They lost by 10 to East Robertson. That was a region game.
okay.
That was the only region loss they had. They were 3 and 1, finished in second place in their region. So
Huh. Well, let me see. They may be showing up against them in the next round, right? Could be rematch. All right, let's roll over to 3A. Okay. Up to the top bracket, we got Pittman, Meigs County, Tyner, and Giles County. So you talk a lot about the Giles County, um, Keith. So what do you know about that one?
Well, Giles County seems to be as improving as the season goes on. They finished 7-3 on the year, as my
Yeah.
sheet says here. But they're facing a very tough Tyner football team, and looking up the bracket there in the first bracket of the quarterfinals, you got Gatlinburg Pittman 10-0, and
Mhm.
they're always a good football team. But I like this Meigs County team. I remember when
21.
Meigs County used to be the cream of the
Oh yeah,
crop.
they were. Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness. And then all of a sudden they had a little drop off, had to do some rebuilding and stuff, and now they're back on top and they beat who was it? They beat Sequatchie County.
Sequatchie. Yeah,
And
they're good
Sequatchie
too.
County's not a slouch, you
Yeah.
know.
I think they made a run last year. Did they lose in the semifinals or
Sequatchie did, yeah.
yeah.
Sequatchie made a big run last year. And I remember when they were rebuilding because Sequatchie County and South Pittsburgh in that area, that's where high school football, that's where high school football dominated for years.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, like I said, they had a little drop off and now they're back. And let's see, we got Giles County who beat a McMinn Central team. And beating McMinn Central is not easy at all in any sport. Um, as
Yeah,
far as that's
you know about
concerned.
that Charger Dome, don't you? We went over
Oh yeah, yeah,
Morgan. You
we've
know about
been.
that Morgan Dome talking about?
I've been to that Charger Dome for sure.
He coached about 50,000 years. He finally retired though. I think he's
Yeah,
finally
yeah,
retired now.
yeah. He sure did.
Basketball in it. But yeah, they pretty tough. I said that was Giles County's first playoff game. Had that forfeit first round, so that's kind of what I was worried about. They showed out. They didn't have no rest or no kind of rest for the weird. That was still they wanted to come out and play well, and they did. So they get to go to Tyner now. Chattanooga make that long ride to Chattanooga. Of course, it'll be tough. I don't think win or not, it should be a good ball. Anytime you get to quarterfinals, they ain't no bad teams now. You got to be ready to play. I mean,
That's
they ain't
generally
the
what
bad
happened.
ones
Yeah,
either.
and that's interesting because Giles actually, you just mentioned it that they got that forfeit in the first round, and sometimes that can actually, I'd imagine, especially with the younger kids. I mean, the private schools are kind of used to doing that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Or the
yeah. They had a
public
decent team.
schools, you're
Yeah.
not really used to getting a bye, so you kind of have
No,
a rhythm that you already get into. I mean, everybody gets a bye during the regular season, but
that's
that's a lot
always
different
gone. Yeah,
than a buy in the
yeah,
playoffs. So, but it looked like they
exactly.
went in and handled them. Yeah, 41-6, like you said.
Yeah.
You guys know anything about Covington and Dryersburg?
Well, I think that's probably going to be your best game of, looking at scores and whatnot. That's probably going to be the best game of the 3A division because if you look,
Woo, they both
Covington has
score.
gotten 119 points that they've scored in 2 games in their playoff journey, where Dyersburg has got 94 points that they've scored in their journey as well. Now, Covington is 9-1 going into that game. Dyersburg is a very quiet 6-4
6 and
team.
4.
So
Interesting.
like 6-5, 6-6, or 8-4 now.
Yeah.
Covington is now 11-1. So I think Covington will probably take that game because they're playing at home. Again, you got to take a look
Dyers
at
were
that.
game in Middle Tennessee last week and won it. Who did they play last week? They played the
Uh,
Middle
Dyers
Tennessee.
went to Fairview.
They went to Fairview. That's middle, yeah. Fairview. They went over there and won Yellow Jacket, beat them. So they had a long ride. They still won. So yeah, another long ride for them. So of course it
Hmm.
ain't too long. Two West Tennessee teams there, so won't be too
Jeff,
long.
you know anything about Westview and Melrose?
Well, Westview, yeah, I know about Westview. Ty Simpson, the quarterback at Alabama, that's where he played high school ball. Martin Westview, his daddy is Jason Simpson, coaches UT Martin, his daddy. And his brother is playing high school football right now. He's a starting quarterback. Well, I don't know his brother's name, but he's a starting quarterback. And they play Melrose. They play Melrose on Friday night, so they've got. I believe that game's at Westview. I believe it's not too far
Yeah.
trip. Both of them, Westview's in Martin, Tennessee, and Melrose, Memphis. So that's not too far a trip to go. I mean, It's just up north, was whatever you call it. Not too far. But Westview's pretty good. They won the state a couple years ago, and like I say, Ty Simpson. Of course, they didn't play too well this weekend, Bama, but they were pushing him for Heisman Trophy. His coach, his father has coached for years at UT Martin. He's had a heck of a career over there, and I mean they're just a football fan with the Simpsons now. They Westview. I don't know if they have any more sense. Probably don't have no more after this guy leaves, but. They're two quarterbacks right there. And I don't know if I don't know anything about Melrose, but I'd say Westview's got a pretty good football team. You got a Simpson at quarterback that probably helps you out, I'd say.
Hmm. You got an idea about that one, Keith?
No, I think kind of what Jeff was saying. I mean, Westview, they beat a very good Westmoreland team whose record was kind of, didn't tell the whole story about Westmoreland. Westmoreland prides themselves on a wing T offense. They run a 4-3 defense, and they are very good. And Westview coming in, Westmoreland obviously they had to put some miles on the bus to travel, but to Westview's credit, they come in and smoked them 55-7.
Yeah.
So that kind of, you know,
Well, if you look at what they did in both rounds, I mean, I'm horrible at math, but they zero, they shut out Hamilton and they only gave up a touchdown to Westmoreland. Beat Westview 68-0, and then Westview or Westmoreland 55. So yeah, they put up some points.
but they're going to be. I mean, Melrose is going to be more competitive, obviously, than the Westmorelands and obviously the Hamiltons of the world. But I think Westview takes that game, and then the next round on the semifinals, I'm going to say Covington takes that game against Dyersburg, and so you've got Westview and Covington playing against each other. That could be worth a championship right there in a semifinal round
Oh.
with the way those two schools are going.
So at this point where the brackets are set up, how much familiarity do these teams have with each other? I know the second round there was a lot of movement, but are they getting back to now where there's some familiarity with opponents?
Well, not
Go
right
ahead.
now. No. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
What I was going to say is they changed the brackets around for that very reason. Because they didn't want these coaches, they didn't want to keep playing region teams on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's why Maryville will play Riverdale this week in the second round. Normally they play fourth. So that they changed it around like Keith, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. They changed it around where they're playing different teams. So some of them don't know, but you've got like in the old days, about 25 years ago, when I was working in Fayette, let me tell you what they done. They would have in Fayette, they had a little coaching show in the mornings. They go to a restaurant now about 8:30, 9 have a restaurant. All right, one of their assistant coaches, not Coach Thomas, Coach T had the show. He wasn't worried about all that. One of his assistant coaches, they'd get in the truck or car and go meet the coach, give him a VHS tape. Here's the film now.
Yeah.
Exchange films. We didn't have none of that internet business. They exchanged film.
Yeah.
So they go like Coach Ron told. He tells the assistants all the time, Coach, you think it's easy nowadays? You ought to come back. My day we had to drive up and give a coach a film. VHS film or whatever the heck it was. I know Keith remembers them days that Candy probably drove to a lot of places meeting coaches at interstate or whatever, or a restaurant or wherever the hell they did and gave films off. And they'd watch the film break. Because I went to Coach Thompson several times, especially playoff time. When I was a Saturday one time, I remember one time, it was a Saturday, I was covering something at the high school. And so I wondered if Coach was in his office. I bet he is. So I went there. It's just a funny story though. Went in there and snuck in. It was dark, and it was dark as all get out. He's in there. What's that projector going? He's watching that film. He hollered at me. He didn't know what. He hollered at me. He kind of who knew I was. And we started talking. I said, "Well, Coach, how you doing?" He's watching film. He's talking about who they going to play at such and such on. But yeah, that's how they did it back then. They'd watch the film, and now it's all on the internet. You can just pull up internet, Hulu, and all this other business and do stuff.
Yeah, well, Huddle definitely made things a lot more easier.
But the internet makes it easy. I just the internet.
Well, it's the internet, but there's this platform. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's called Huddle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Coaches Exchange, and it's a really good tool because you can actually break out offense, defense. You can
break for college stuff too. Parents use college stuff. College
you can sit out there and you can select a player, like for instance Eli Garrett, just in my instance. And you can see every play. You can break down every play and see what he's done on every play. if he breathes wrong, you're going to know it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
it's amazing.
So,
But
all right, let's head over to 4A. 4A. All right. So Greenville's up at the top. They're making their run. Not really that much of a surprise there. Anderson County. Anderson County's had a night. I mean, they beat Volunteer. Interesting high school name, right? But
Who?
Volunteer High
Oh,
School.
volunteer. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then they beat a tough Stone Memorial,
That's in
right?
Cross.
So
Cross.
you know, and so you got Anderson versus Greenville. Do you know anything about them, Keith?
well, I mean, in order for Anderson County to beat Stone Memorial by 30 like they did,
Yeah,
Stone
that's
Memorial
impressive,
is a good football team, and
right?
Anderson County's what coming into the playoffs. They're 7-2 now. They're 9-2, but a 7-2 program comes in and beats Stone Memorial, who was 9-1. So,
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of explains itself. But that might be a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
You look down at the next bracket, you had Red Bank beating Macon County. That was the defending state champs. Then
Yeah.
they go and blow out Gibbs. So Red Bank, who was Red Bank?
Chattanooga.
Yeah, but what's the most famous athlete? Was
Gerald Riggs.
there you go. There you
Gerald
go.
Riggs.
Gerald Riggs used to play for the Atlanta Falcons.
He played
Gerald
running back.
Riggs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's junior, not junior. Not him. He's junior, his son. It wasn't him, his son. His
Oh
son
yeah.
played there. They beat
Yep.
Riverdale in the state. They beat Riverdale in the state championship. What year it was? In the snow at middle. It was
Hmm.
snowing that night. They played in December. Snowing that night, and they beat them. Beat them in state. Red Bank beat them. State one of Rankin's 5 losses in the championship game at Riverdale. One of the ones he lost. But his son played in the NFL Atlanta Falcons, and he had several years because he's been back here a couple times. Or his guy does some fun. He's come back a couple times fundraising type thing. But there's another kid. You remember the kid that was around here? Keith played, don't you?
Who?
Dwayne Morris
Okay.
played Tennessee. He was at Red Bank. He transferred to Oakland. He transferred to
Wow.
Red. He was playing at Red Bank. Transferred up to Oakland and played. But Alcoa goes to Red Bank, and if Alcoa's going to win a state championship, they got to go to Red Bank and win, and they have to play the semifinals on the road too. So they have to play both games on the road if they want to make. They want to win
Red Bank is, they came into the playoffs with 6-4, and again, not sure how those 4 losses, shake out. And I mean, they still had the number 1 seed. So even though they were 6-4, they still had the top seed. So that tells something about, the type of, the competition they probably played against. And so 6-4 coming against an Alcoa team that obviously you guys know everything about Alcoa. Still kind of feel bad for Upperman because looks like even though classes changed, they still met that beast in Alcoa.
Well, they kicked
Well,
themselves in the foot in that particular game. I was reading about it. They in the first possession of the game, they fumble the football. Alcoa runs it back for a touchdown. Just picked it up, run it back for a touchdown. And even though they had 2 fumbles, like in the first 3 possessions or something like that, even though they were, they had the case of fumbleitis, they were able to stay in the game. It was close all the way until about the third quarter. And then Alcoa was able to get an onside kick after they scored and
Oh,
scored again. And that's what gave them the distance to be able to beat them 49-28. And,
yeah,
Upperman still had a great season.
sure
But
did.
they wish that they didn't have to run into Alcoa again, and they would be the ones if they had been able to limit the turnovers. They would have probably been able to upset Alcoa, I would think. But
Yeah, turnovers is the ultimate equalizer. But it's you can't really do any turnovers. I mean, that old cliche, right? But it's when you're playing against teams that are really superior and are used to it, they jump on it. And so doing a score and then doing, the onside kick, getting it and doing it score. I mean, that's a killer mentality, right? Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. But the one thing that you'll notice, and it's very interesting, team defensive touchdowns. All right, either a punt return, kickoff return,
special teams.
any those are the unaccounted, and teams that usually do that are the ones that's going to more than likely win. It's a very interesting stat. So on the defensive side, because those are killers, those just it's tough to rebound when a team does something like that, pick six. I mean, it really gets deflating. And so you have to really bounce back. So just check that out. A team that actually does a special teams or a defensive touchdown, check the results and see what happens. Jeff, okay, well, I'm going to talk about that one in a second, but all right. South Gibson and Springfield. All right, now we're getting to the big dogs now, man. Woo, these are all big dogs. Even
They
up,
got to go to South Gibson. That's a long ride for them.
yeah,
Eagles
going to
fans,
Springfield. Or no, South Gibson is playing at home.
they're playing at home. They got to go to South Gibson. That's West Tennessee now. That's not too. I mean, they're up there north of almost to the Kentucky line. So that's a little bit of ride for them.
Yeah,
South Gibson there.
I mean Springfield's another team that is I went and I saw them play against Pearl Cone. Awesome game, unbelievable game. So I mean, it looks like they're making their run too. Handled Lexington pretty easy, and Creekwood. Well, I mean, Creekwood was 3-7 coming in. So, what's your thoughts on that one, Keith? South Gibson versus Springfield.
I'm going to go with an upset on this one. I'm going to go Springfield. I think they've got enough power to overcome South Gibson. They had a better record, and of course, that doesn't really mean anything. East
Yeah,
versus or Middle Tennessee versus West Tennessee. But I think Springfield goes up there because I think what'll end up happening is kind of like what we saw in what these brackets are supposed to be about is they want to get those matchups, those key matchups in the semifinals,
that's what you
and I
want.
think
Yeah,
it could set the stage for a Springfield Pearl Cone matchup with Pearl Cone meeting Marshall County, although Marshall County's got it's a home game for them, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I was actually at the Marshall County game this Friday, right? And I have a great relationship with Jeff's buddy. I mean, with
Osteen,
Osteen.
you know
Yeah,
Osteen, son.
he's a buddy, man. And it was a great game. I mean, I love playoff atmosphere, and it was a great atmosphere down there. And of course,
Was
you
it
guys know
back?
about
Good
that.
crowd.
What's that?
Good crowd.
Yeah, it was a good sized crowd. It was a good sized
Yeah.
crowd. But you know about the Tyler Thompson quarterback, right? I mean, he's a stud. I mean, he was a Mr. Tennessee finalist, last
Yeah.
year. But they got this running back, right? They got this. They call him Tot, right? Nickname's Tot Gardner. Um, Keith, you'd be pretty impressed, man. He could have been the huff and puff trucker this game, man. He he went for probably close to 300 yards. I mean,
Damn.
his first carry of the game, he went for 75, right?
Okay.
And so, but it was a decent game. It was 20-14 at halftime, and then Marshall came out and just boom, 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 put him away. There was a point when Dyer, I was going to call him Gyres, Dyer County was making a nice comeback. I mean, momentum shift, right? Where even though they were still losing by like 3, still plenty enough time in the game. And then they did a fumble, and then that was pretty much it. Sack and fumble. Marshall's defense actually was really impressive. Their front four, I'm horrible with stats. I know they had a lot of pressures, but they probably wound up getting 4 sacks, something like that with just their front four. So it's going to be interesting. I was at the Pearl Cone game last year, the first one, when Marshall beat them to win the division, right? In the rain, loved it. They have a grass field, so of course it's muddy and it's beautiful. Loved it, man. And then they won on the last second field goal. Well, they played in the playoffs later on that season last year, and the same scenario happened, except this time Marshall missed the field goal, and then Pearl Cone made it, and that's how Pearl Cone advanced on. So, I talked to the players afterwards, talked to Tyler, and they're like, we can't wait. They were hoping that they were getting this matchup just because it was like they got him. They got him. They Pearl bit them last year to knock them out in that fashion. It was like we won. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a fascinating game just because I did see Pearl Cone and Pearl Cone's I mean, we've seen the schedule they've played, right? And
Oh yeah.
they're no joke. And so I think the winner of this And either way, honestly, I mean, you think about that, yeah, the winner of that, then I agree with you, Keith. I think Springfield's going to move on that one, and then you get I mean, say Alcoa moves on. I mean, that's a ridiculous Final Four. I mean, I don't know who you think would come out of between Greenville and Anderson. How much do you know about that one, Jeff?
Not too all much. I know I mean, Greenville's got a good tradition in other sports. I don't know much about their football, but and Anderson can't know much about them really at all. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it'd be a good game because both of them advanced as far, but I don't know too much about either one of them, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that whole quarterfinals, I mean, we were just talking about it with Keith, is Anderson beating a very legit Stone Memorial. So, I mean, I got to be honest, I love 4A football, man. As many games as we did, I just kind of have a fondness for 4A because it is more of a smaller towns, right? And
Yeah.
you get the stadiums that don't got the tracks, and I hate tracks, right? So I mean, it's like right on it, and you got some great football. I mean, you got some very high quality, teams, that move on. So yeah, definitely gonna. I'm honestly torn. I don't know which games I'm gonna go to this week. Do I want to go back and watch that Marshall Pearl Cone? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But there's some really good matchups in 5A and 6A also. All right, let's transition over to 5A. We got a lot more from there with this one.
Boy, you talk about a loaded bracket. Ooh, look out now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's loaded, boy.
yeah, yeah. I just looked up, and so I mean, Xavier County and Lincoln, these are all teams up in Eastern, right? What
No,
was
Sevier County is Sevierville. Lincoln County's Fayetteville near the Alabama line.
Oh, so they're way down.
It's about an hour and a half from here.
Ooh,
From
that's a drive
231,
for them, man.
it's near the Alabama line. It's near the Huntsville.
Yeah,
So that
and
they got a little bit of drive to go to Sevierville, yeah. But it's
Yeah, I
the
don't
first
know if
time in a
Lincoln County.
while. It's the first time in a while I think they've been in the quarterfinal. They ain't been in the quarter this deep in the playoffs in a long while. I know when I was down there, they played Riverdale one year, quarterfinals, and lost. I don't know when the last time they've been. It's been as long. I'm proud for them. I really am. I like to see them get back. They're 5A. They've won 2 games in the playoffs. I hope they can beat Sevier County, but I don't know much about them. I know Steve Brewer was a legendary coach over there for years. He's retired, but I don't know much about him now. But I sure would love to see the Falcons go over and win on Friday night and make the semifinals. Because if they do, that whole county will be. If Fayetteville wins Friday night, and they're both in the semifinals. Keith, what
Huh.
do you think that county be? If Lincoln County, I don't know if they'll even play at home. What the deal is? If they both play, I don't know what Fayetteville's going to do. If they play at home, if both of them plays at home, one of them might play Thursday, one of them might play Friday. They might just
Yeah.
go ahead and change it. Because if they both of them plays on Friday, you can commit you a good crime down there in Fayetteville. Get you mean you the bar. We go there. Can we get us a store and commit us a good crime there? Won't be no cops down there. They'll be over all the ball games. It'll be like these small towns. The state championships, you can commit you a good crime, go over these small towns. Ain't no be nobody right there off the
yeah,
ball game. So, I mean, if they're both in the semifinals, look out now, because Fayetteville won it a few years ago, a state in football now, and Lincoln County hadn't done anything in a long time. It's been a
yeah.
long time since they've
But
been this
it
good.
looks like
Long time.
looks like Lincoln actually had a nice run in who they played against. Because I remember, Jeff, you were talking about McMinn County, right?
Yeah,
Earlier in the season, and McMinn County is a good solid team.
yeah.
And so they beat them, and then they beat Powell. I guess I was listening to the radio on the way home, and I guess I mean it was a higher seed game.
They went to
Um,
Knoxville and won. Yeah.
so yeah,
39-37 must have been a heck of a ball game.
yeah, it
One
must have
two must have
been.
been a heck of a one, boy. It must
So
have
the
been a
one
really
the
good
games
ball
just
game.
below that, I actually did. Jeff, you'd be proud of me. And Keith. I did some research on this one. Knoxville Halls versus Knoxville Central. They
Oh
did
yeah, Knoxville, yeah.
they played against each other earlier in the season, right? And Central beat them. I don't even want to say that now. I didn't print it out. One of them beat. It was a close game, right? It was like I think 38-35, and so but yeah, I think it was Central that beat Halls in the first round, but I mean in the regular season. So
And that was a region game, by the way.
yeah,
Both those teams are from the same region. So,
well, that's interesting. A lot of
Yeah.
familiarity. Yeah. Uh,
I won't be. They probably get in their cars, go to that game. Ain't got to worry about no bus. Both of them's in Knoxville. We just go across the town. Ain't got to worry about no bus on that. We save some gas, save some
so,
bus money.
so when we go to the other brackets, all right. Now this is obviously big dogs right here. When you got Page and Beach, right? And I saw Beach. I was telling you guys that Beach has a linebacker at quarterback. Man, this guy is a monster. He's that kid that's got a full ride as a catcher to Kentucky.
Oh yeah, yeah. He signed this week.
Yeah,
He
but I
finally
mean,
signed. He signed
he
this
could
week. Yeah.
sling it. They have a nice running back, and they got. I mean, they've got all the ingredients to be the champion. And then you got obviously a very game Page team that all they know is Chattanooga for like these past 4 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about that one, Jeff?
Boy, it's gonna be it might be a TV game. Channel 30 might do that one Friday night. They didn't do one this last week, but that's the one they might do. But it's gonna be a heck of a ball game. I mean, Beach has got a lineman that's going somewhere big too. One of them offensive linemen. I think he plays both offensive line too. It's gonna be a heck of a game. A lot of talent and I mean a lot of good ball players. If you want to go see some two good football teams, that's a place to be Friday night. It's not very far from Murfreesboro. It take you. You might need to go up to Page Friday night, Lombardi. It ain't very far up
All right.
96. Just get up there and go up there to
Well,
Page. It'd be a good ball game. And the
well,
other
I
one
mean,
too, Centennial and Henry Can's going to be a good one too. That's where James Camps coached last year. They're in the third round again. So I mean, they don't know about football in Paris, Tennessee. Now they know how to play over there. It's
well,
going to be a
Henry
good ball
County
game.
started the season out a little bit on the hiccups, right? And then, I mean, obviously, it's going to happen, when they lose their coach. Um, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but it looks like they've righted the ship.
Yeah,
Beat a solid, Nolensville team, and then, coming in against Centennial, who's, you know, yeah, I mean, you guys heard about the story again, Centennial earlier in the season, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a teacher at Centennial, right? So
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
so
thought
I
I
mean, yeah,
remembered
I'm
that you
I'm
were.
familiar with Coach Burks, and he's a good guy, and he's righted the ship, right? Pretty much same, not the same way, but I mean, Henry County took him a little bit, start the season, but um, coming in and taking over the way they did, and just from a little bit of an insight is, his whole thing was discipline. And I don't know how they were running their program previous to him getting there. But when he was talking about the biggest thing that he had focused in on was discipline, right? And their first game, they struggled. Again, totally understandable. But then they started, they've obviously got a nice run going. And so, and I mean, they beat some really, really legit teams. I mean, Station Camp was, I mean, I think Station Camp was coming in a little bit limping, but they were still, really good team. So we'll see. I mean, that's going to be I, I, I'd almost say it's kind of a pick 'em game just because you're not too familiar with how these two teams. I mean, even though, in your county, I mean, they still are, I don't say like learning. I mean, to get to this point, they pretty much got things locked in, but it's going to be interesting. What do you think on this one, Keith?
I think you look at Henry County and their tradition. I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, and Jeff knows what I'm talking about when we talk about basketball. We'll go back to the sport of basketball. You had Livingston Academy girls. They were getting beat up in during the regular season, and then all of a sudden they make this postseason run. Henry County is like that. They got beat up in the regular season,
Well,
but they know when it's time to come together. They know when it's time to peak. And right now they're peaking. I mean, they beat a very good Nolensville team. Centennial, it's kind of like you said, they fought. They had a lot of distractions
mhm.
this year. They lost several games. They lost to Antioch by 14. Their big loss was to Page, 52-17. But then right after that, they seem to have turned it around. They
Yeah,
got a big win, 31 points over Franklin. They
yeah,
lost to Nolensville, but then they
close
come
game.
back
Yeah,
and win four straight to get to where they are right now. But it's going to be at Henry County, and that place rocks as far as football atmosphere is concerned.
yeah,
And I think Henry County goes and wins that game, I don't know what the score would be, but I believe Henry County takes the win and vaults themselves into the semifinals.
So, going back to what you were saying, Jeff, about that game, Page versus Beats. Man, go check that one out. Side note, right? I would love. Page has a great atmosphere. It's an awesome
Yeah.
atmosphere. But we did the beach game against Upperman, right? And
Yeah.
it was a great game, like I was talking about. But they kicked my son off the sidelines, right? And so
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, no, we ain't even. We're not going to do you guys any favor and videotape your games. So
What game? Beach was this? Was this at Beach High
yeah,
School?
no,
Okay.
it was at
At
Upperman.
Upperman. Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
now I
And
can
we
believe that. I can
so,
believe that.
but
Okay.
we still have. I mean, when the home team gives us access, right? We have full access as long as it's not on their sidelines, right?
Right.
And so, but what they were doing is, if you guys have ever been to Upperman, it's one of those like right on
I
top.
never mind. Never been
And
there.
so, I mean, it's a great stadium, but you'd have to go from, one sideline, and then if the ball's moving, you'd have to go through their bench
Yeah, around them,
to
yeah.
get to the, and like literally. And so they're like, get out. I'm like, whatever. I'll take, so no,
Yeah,
I'm,
in the playoffs, they usually sometimes they'll tell me before the game starts. They say, "Well, you need to stay. You need to stay from the 20 and the 20 and
in the
into
end zone.
the
Yeah,
end zone. Yeah, stay
yeah,
on that
yeah.
side. Don't be getting in the. Of course, I understand that. No problem.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, like I said, this wasn't and we, for the most part, I actually say that the teams have been very accommodating. I think that the biggest thing is we really try not to be a distraction. We
Oh
don't
yeah, you don't want to do
we
that.
don't
No.
talk to the players. I mean, players
Oh
like
no,
times
no.
coming, I'm like, just get away. So, anyways, that's my
Yeah.
little beach thing. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe we'll put them on the program. So, uh,
So
but
Beach did this to you. They
Oh,
kicked you off
Upperman,
of their
Upperman,
side.
Upper.
But Upperman did that. Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. It was at Upperman. Upperman gave us
Right.
access to the game, right?
Right.
But you're
And
on the
But
Beach
beach
was
side.
the one that kicked
Beach
you off the sidelines.
off their sidelines.
Off
Oh,
their sidelines.
okay. I
Okay.
And
follow.
Emmett wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was just going like we always do. We kind of we don't go on the sidelines. We go like, Keith was saying, like from the 25 down, and we always want to shoot when the game's coming towards us.
Right. Right. I've
Right.
seen.
I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever, who cares? Anyways, so yeah, I think Page is rolling. The Henry County versus Centennial is going to be an interesting one. I think that's like I said, that Elite Eight is looking good too. But honestly, I think that maybe this is the year that Page finally breaks through. Finally breaks through. I don't know any of the teams up at the top. Are any of these teams left in? Any of the teams that beat them last year or any of the 4 years?
I don't think so. I don't. I don't think so.
Try that again. What were you looking
Yeah,
for?
are any of the teams that's left, like in the upper bracket, Xavier, Lincoln, Knoxville Halls, or Knoxville Central, were any of those teams the one that beat Knock Page out in the championship game?
Hang on just a minute. I'll check real quick.
I don't think it was the
Got it
last
right
year.
here.
I don't think just
Last year they lost to Sevier County in
Oh,
the championship 27-20.
okay.
The year before that, let's see, they were in the state championship then
Yeah.
and lost to Knoxville West. Yeah.
Knoxville
Uh,
West. Okay, West.
yeah, 24-19. So
Yeah.
but
Well,
Sevier County was the one that knocked them out last year.
okay. Okay. Well,
But a few times.
maybe they get that rematch themselves. All right, let's roll over to the big dogs. Let's go to these ones. I mean, there's I what do you think about that Dobbins Bennett Blackman game, Jeff? You think that was
Well, they pretty much Blackman. I listened to some of it, listen to the wrap up, rarely listen to the wrap up. Blackman pretty much just dominated possession. They had long drives. They scored it was 14-7 at the half. And they came out and had a couple long drives in the second half. Dobbins Bennett got it down inside the one or inside the 1 or 2 yard line and just couldn't punch it in. Blackman stopped it, could not punch it in. And I mean, they had long drives, but I think one was 80 something yards and 80. They took time off the clock like 6 minutes. seven, something like that, and 5, 6, and they scored touchdowns. And I think Kemp scored one. I know O'Dur got a passing touchdown. Elliott threw one to O'Dur, that receiver. He got a
Mhm.
passing touchdown. Smith, that Brian Smith, he scored. Of course, Nance didn't play; he was suspended. But they, Kemp, I think they had 2 rushing touchdowns and maybe 2 passing or 3 and 1. I can't remember, but I know they played pretty well. And their defense held in. I mean, they on the road, it was a good win for them. And now they get Maryville at home, and Maryville pretty much destroyed Riverdale, which I wasn't surprised. People, the people down here laugh about Maryville. They just, God dang, they can't get enough. They just laugh about it. On WGNS Friday night, they sit there and they go, well, if they beat Blackman and Oakland, they'll have earned a state. I mean, they don't give any of these teams credit.
Could you imagine? Just curious from this. I mean, especially, I wonder if this has ever happened because they've did this whole realignment. Maryville would have beat all 3A conferences, whatever. They would have beaten Riverdale. They would have beaten Blackman. They would have been beaten Oakland. Have they made it in the
You mean
championship?
back to back? No, not like back to back. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean
But I mean,
they're
that's a
all time
serious.
Maryville
Yeah.
against Rutherford County schools in football. Maryville is 12-7 all time.
Wow. Wow.
It's the Rutherford schools. You know what? They played Oakland 10 times in the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, we were at the game last year.
Oakland is 4-6
Woo!
against Maryville in the playoffs.
So
The
that's a
rest
team
of it,
that.
they beat
Yeah.
Siegel once. They played Smyrna a couple times. They played Blackman, Riverdale. Siegel's played them. They played in the semifinals one year. Stockstill had one leg played, and Riverdale beat them. They
Mhm.
beat them, but they played everybody. I mean, they taken everybody's best shot. I mean, people still don't believe in. I don't know if they'll beat Blackman or not or Oakland or not, but I mean, they're a great program. They've got great tradition. It's tough to
Yeah.
win down there. It's
Yeah.
tough to go in there and win. It's almost impossible. Oakland broke the long streak. There was about 15 years that they didn't even lose a home playoff game,
Hmm.
and Oakland went in there and won a few years ago. But
Oh,
it's hard to do now. It's about
yeah.
like it's about like I don't know. It's about like getting the national debt down. It's about hard to do. You can do on that. You might well you do that, but you beat Maryland and do that. You been doing pretty good because that's one of the toughest places to play in the state as far as high school football is concerned, in my
Well,
opinion.
I mean, that's actually a game that I may wind up going to. Is I want to. I mean, Blackman's got a great, they got a good fan base, and Maryville travels. When I was at that Oakland game, it was
Oh yeah, they know
both
they trips
times
they do. They'll come
no
now.
travel.
They're gonna bring
So
a crowd because I know the night they played Oakland, somebody was telling me that I had to park pretty far off the game. They said that night they played Oakland in that game, that region football game,
yeah,
they said their gate was over $50,000 that night when they
well,
played.
they were loaded. I mean, hey, the winner of that
And
went
they
to the
don't care
state.
what they made up for
That
70
went to
that
the
night.
state.
That's just the
So,
gate, but
um,
and then Green Hill plays at Oakland. That'd be another good one. Oakland beat Bradley Central. They were up 7-0. Bradley was driving, got inside the 30, went for it on fourth, and one got the first down. But then they said the player's knee was down, he was short. And Oakland comes back and scores again, makes it 14. That's where this game is. Don't worry about that. So they won 35-10. And if both of them win, if Blackman and Oakland both win, they'll play in the semifinals. It'll be at Oakland because
yeah,
Oakland's got a seed.
yeah. So,
I do that.
hey Keith, what's your thoughts on the whole Oakland and Green Hill?
Well, I was actually looking at the Maryville history of Maryville for the past few years, and Jeff mentioned that Maryville's owned Oakland as far as in the series, but in the last 3 years, Oakland, or last 3 or 4 years, let's put it that way, last three meetings, Oakland has won each of those games. But as far as Oakland and Green Hill, I don't necessarily see right now Oakland is just kind of flexing their muscle. They're a very tough team, and they're what 12-0 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't I see them and Maryville being in that semifinal. Now I don't necessarily know. You got to go to Maryville. That's going to be something. You got to go to Maryville and win the game up there. And it's like Jeff said, that is tough to do. The two losses this year, the one loss so far this year, Maryville, is been to Alcoa, and
And
Alcoa
they
has
play every year. They're
actually,
rivals. They play
yeah,
every
they're
year.
rivals,
A
See
and
lot, you know.
and Alcoa has owned that series. Alcoa
Yeah.
plays above and beyond
Oh
3A
yeah,
football,
Yeah.
3A
Yeah.
football, 4A
yeah,
football,
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be a good matchup. But what I'm kind of curious about is which game does GNS pick up this week?
They will probably do Maryville Black because they haven't done them in the playoffs, and they did Oakland last week. So if I had to guess, they'll do Maryville Blackman. Is what I
So
would
if I
guess.
put together a little radio station, could I go do the Oakland Green Hill game?
Well,
It's radio.
that's John Marshall and
No,
Kevin
that's
Creasy and
okay.
some of them people like that. You can do what you
No.
want to. If you can get by Creasy always moaning, bitching, and complaining, you might be able to do something. Help me quit bitching to referees. You
No, let's
might be
put it
able to
this
get through
way.
it.
If I go to any football game this Friday, there would be a town of Woodbury that would kill me right now because we've got
Y'all
a
playing Friday basketball.
well,
Y'all
no,
playing.
we've got an event coming up Friday. It's a Canning Country Christmas, and if I miss that event because I'm DJing the Christmas music around the square and everything, if I miss that event,
Oh,
there'll
it's
be
on
a
the square. It's up
lynching.
down on the square.
Yeah,
Oh, it is. Oh,
they'll shoot me. They'll come and get
yeah.
me and
Well,
carry me
yeah.
physically back to the in here. You
Yeah.
DJ this thing, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
the basketball teams. This is an event that happens every year. I think we're in our 39th year of this happening. The basketball programs know now, and they do this every year now. They're familiar with this event. They know now not to schedule a game on that Friday or that Saturday because it's
Okay.
a 2 night event for shopping for
Oh,
Christmas.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
in fact, this year is the first year that the Woodbury Christmas Parade, that normally happens on Saturday, the first Saturday of the month of December, is going to be held on November 22nd at night. So it's the first nighttime parade
Oh,
that
that's cool.
Woodbury and Caney County has
That's
had
gonna look
in
awesome with those
many, many
lights.
years,
It's gonna look
So,
beautiful. It's gonna look
yeah,
beautiful.
That's gonna be nice. What time starts? 7 o'clock or
6 o'clock.
six?
Yeah,
That's
Six
gonna be
o'clock.
nice.
Yep.
That'd be nice there.
and that's this Saturday.
That's this Saturday.
I may have,
Friday's the event where we have to, take pictures with Santa Claus and
uh,
do
You
our
dressed
go
up as Santa Keith? You're
all
gonna
that
be
good stuff.
where's your red hat and you get to dressing up?
No,
You gonna
I don't dress up for that. I
you don't
stay
know.
indoors. I get a little indoor thing to where I get to keep warm in case it's
yeah,
cold,
yeah.
No, that's
and
yeah, okay, see that. Yeah.
but so yeah.
Do that.
All right, hey, so going down to the other side, we got Whitehaven versus Ravenwood, and then we got Collierville against Southwind. I don't know anything about those three teams those teams except Ravenwood. I'm familiar with Ravenwood. What do you know about Whitehaven? You guys know anything about it, Jeff?
I've been there once and it's near Graceland and at night you probably don't you need some security. You probably don't want to be there. I mean, they got a nice stadium, everything is near Graceland, but Memphis,
Hold on.
it's a
Is
rough part of
Whitehaven?
town. But they've got a good football team. They're always good. They've always make deep runs. Collier was really good too. Other sports, not just football, but that should be a good game with
Did you
Southwind.
guys see
I don't
that?
know
That
much about either of those teams.
Whitehaven is actually hosting that. That's
Yeah, because it's an odd how they do it is the odd years. Like Whitehaven is an odd number region, so the
okay.
odd years, odd regions
That
host
host team.
even
Oh,
years, even years. So that's why Blackman's hosting Maryville. They're Region 3.
oh, gotcha,
Uh,
gotcha.
That's
Okay.
why.
Oh,
That's
and Ravenwood's like 4 or something like that.
yeah, it's a 5, whatever the end. Whitehaven, whatever 5 or 6, whatever it is, 7, whatever the heck it is. But yeah, those two games everybody's been talking about since the playoffs started when they came out, or that first week. They've been talking about Oakland and Ravenwood in the finals. Now
Yeah,
last year they played
they're on
Oakland.
I mean,
Yeah, they are on a collision course.
they
Now,
got they got seeded correctly for that to happen. Last year they would have met in the semifinals.
yeah,
But now, I mean, if it happens, that's the
yeah.
new coach Rodriguez. Stepped
No,
in.
he took Hester that season.
Yeah.
But last year they played Oakland. Ravenwood won
Won.
32-31 in overtime. They
Yeah,
played overtime.
yeah.
And that was one of the I think Creasy has lost, I want to say, like 3 home games, or since he's been there. He lost to Riverdale and Ravenwood, and there's somebody who since he's been coach at Oakland, he doesn't
Hmm.
lose at home very much.
And then you got Collierville at Southwind. Well, Collierville is no stranger to making runs, right? And then I don't know too much about Southwind. Jeff, you know anything about them?
Not really. No, I don't. I'm really pretty. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Collierville. I'm gonna say Collierville, Ravenwood, and I'm gonna go Maryville. I hate to do this. I'm gonna go Maryville and Oakland. I hope it's Green
No.
Hill, but I'm gonna have to go with Oakland. I mean, I know I hate picking Oakland, but and I'm a Riverdale guy and I hate picking them, but you got to go with them as long as they're. But Green Hill's got a big quarterback, that's
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5". He can
Yeah.
throw it around a lot. And that secondary better be ready to touch on him. They're good secondary. They be ready because he can
Yeah.
throw it around a lot. And if they give him time to throw, and he gets them open, look out. I mean,
Yeah.
the people already all they talk about is running clock over at Oakland. We're gonna get 30 running clock. We're gonna keep hurry up there and all
Yeah.
that. Like I said, we have to
That's
see on that. But
yeah. What do you think about that, Keith? Do you know anything about the Collierville Southwind?
Well, I'm looking at Southwind's schedule because I've kind of I see that score that they beat Brentwood pretty handily, 48-14, and Brentwood kind of had a disappointing season. Remember we talked about them when they played what was that private school they played, and everybody was picking Brentwood to win, and all of a sudden the private school just blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
Southwind is 48-14 the other night, but Southwind, I mean, they've got right now there was 4 games, one, two, three, four, 5 games out of their regular season, 6 games that they put up over 38 points, and they didn't allow any points on defense at all. Shutouts.
Oh, so they have
Six
7
games.
shutouts?
They have 7 shutouts.
Wow.
I'm
That's
looking at
legit.
this and I'm saying Southwind beats Collierville just because of the records.
Yeah.
Southwind. And what kind of a matchup would it be if Ravenwood beats Whitehaven? You've got 2 undefeated teams in that semifinal, in that lower bracket semifinal. And
Yeah.
then of course I think Maryville will beat Blackman. Even though that game's in Murfreesboro, I think Maryville will beat Blackman. And this year, I'm going to say Maryville upsets Oakland when it gets down to it. I think Maryville will upset Oakland
I
because
hope
they're being at home.
Keith, I hope you're right, son. Well, I
Yeah.
hope you're right. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're correct.
We know Jeff's favorite
Hope you're correct.
team. Jeff loves following Creasy, man.
Well, I know. Well, I can tell you this, a couple years ago when he lost to Houston, we got a picture of him in the post. He's picking that runner-up plaque. Looked like he lost his dog. Looked like it was a hot dang. He don't like to lose. I can tell you, picked up that runner-up plaque. He said, I don't want that thing. Not like that. But I did want to just some things private schools real quick. PCA won the night. Thought they lost.
Yeah.
They beat Friendship Christian double overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their 3rd season playing 11-man football.
Yeah.
They've been in the playoffs each. It's their first playoff win ever they've ever had. They play University School of Jackson Friday night at Floyd Stadium. If they win that, they'll play probably Nashville Christian in the finals if they win that. But what LeBron Ferguson has done that whole staff and LeBron Ferguson has done a heck, you can whatever you want to call it, a job over there. I mean, this guy coached at Oakland, Coffee County. He's a longtime football guy. He loves the sport. He loves the kids. They love him. Sean Burkoffer is a semi-finalist, Mr. Football, D2A. He's that good. He's going to play baseball at Walker State. He's that two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
They got a quarterback's really good, Deadman. They've got some athletes. I mean,
I'll tell you what, they've got. I did the middle school game. They've got some players coming up too.
Yeah, they are. They're really good.
They
And
got
also,
some nice players coming up.
and also in Double A, Coach Rankin, Boy Buchanan, they beat Franklin Grace 35-0. They get BGA. BGA comes to them Friday night in the semifinals in D2 Double A.
That's
Last
nice.
year, Boy Buchanan lost to CPA in the semifinal. CPA beat BGA in the state championship. CPA still, did you see that, Lombardi?
Yeah.
They're still in the
Yes.
playoffs. They're 4-8 and still in the playoffs.
Yep. Who they got this week?
I don't know who they got. Who they got?
They got
week?
Brentwood Academy this week, but last week, this past Friday, they beat an Innsworth team,
Yeah.
17-15.
So
Handily. It was not even close. I mean,
And it
CPA
was an
scored
Innsworth.
quick.
It was an Innsworth.
Yeah.
And Innsworth, no joke either. Didn't CPA play Brentwood Academy earlier this year?
I think you're right. I think they did. Let me take a
They
look.
played Oakland the first game.
Yeah, that. But I think that this is a rematch between Brentwood Academy and
It probably is.
CPA.
I doubt it.
Yeah, let me see what they've done here real quick. I've got it. I'm using the Coach T database
There you go.
as Batarian. See if it'll give me. There we go. CPA. Let's see. The Lions.
I didn't print that. I didn't print the
They're
project
9-2 or
brackets
10
out.
and 2. Had to keep 9-2.
What's
Lost
that?
2
Four
losses.
CPA is 4-8.
4-8. Yeah.
Brentwood Academy, no, they did
They
not
didn't play
play
them?
Brentwood Academy.
Okay.
But get this, they did play Innsworth earlier in the season and beat them 28. No, they lost to them 28-21. So
Ah,
that was kind of a little bit of a revenge game. They played Lipscomb Academy, Ravenwood. They lost to them 28-21 in
yeah.
overtime earlier this year. Of course, they beat Pearlcombe. We mentioned that. That
Right.
was another tough game for them. But no, this is the first time that they've played them this season. So we'll see how that one goes.
And CPA was double A last year. They're triple A this year. They're
Yeah,
triple A. They do triple
yeah.
A moved up. They're triple A now. They're not double A anymore. They're triple A.
All
They
right. Well,
beat they
we
beat Brentwood Academy last year to open up the season. 31-24 was the last time those two teams played.
okay. Well, like it was said, you get to this time of the year, you don't really see underdogs kind of flying through. I mean, the final fours for all these divisions are going to be absolutely monsters, absolute monsters games. So, all right, fellas. So, Jeff, they haven't told you where you're going yet?
No, I don't know if I'll be doing some basketball after, but Friday night I have no. I mean, the team and PCA plays here, and so does Blackman. And we got 3 games that are here, and they're the only 3 teams that are left. Everybody else is out. So
Yeah.
everybody else, team TCS is out, Eagle and all other ones. So whoever I don't know who I'll get. He ain't sent me anything yet, but I'm sure I'll get something tonight or tomorrow sometime, whatever. So.
Mhm.
Oh, I was going to ask you too. What do you think about Jeremy Moore? You like him?
Who are you talking to?
Jeremy Moore.
Who's that?
He was a Centennial basketball coach.
I don't follow the basketball.
How long you been Centennial? How long you been teaching Centennial?
Oh, this is my first year teaching it.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I thought maybe
yeah,
he'd been there a while. No,
yeah.
he was athletic director, several different places, basketball coach. So I thought
Oh,
maybe he'd
okay.
been there a while.
Well, they have the assistant principal Gregory Glass, who was he played against the Fab Five, at Western Kentucky. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I stand next to him, and it's ridiculous. It's yeah, they have to do a wide screen just to get my height and his height. He's like 7 foot.
Heard that? Well, you
So
6'8".
I'm
Oh,
going
he's
to
a
throw
big
this
guy.
across the street to Jeff. Jeff, we played Central Magnet Middle School. They've got a kid, last name girl's got a kid that just takes over a ball game. She's better. Apparently, she's got a sister that's playing high school for the high school team for Allen Bush. She takes over a game. This girl does. She's a post player. Last name Lapointe, Lindley Lapointe. You
Okay,
know who her dad is?
no,
David Lapointe. Name sound familiar?
no.
How about a post player for Vanderbilt University back when Kevin Stallings was coaching
Oh, well, he
down
played.
there?
Okay,
Yeah.
I know he played. Okay.
And he's
Interesting.
got a daughter down there. Both daughters now play basketball, and they're going to be Division 1, no doubt about it.
Nice.
What the boys? That boys good game good or
We ended up beating them pretty good,
yeah.
but they've got some athletes. It's just they've got to develop them. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
they're the boys they got a new coach and the girls gonna be young this year too. So they play
Yeah,
Eagle Tuesday
that's
night.
right. The boys do have a new coach with the old coach going to Cascade, right?
They got
Yeah,
Tyler the assistant. They
yeah.
elevated the assistant up. So yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, gentlemen, we got the final four next weekend. We're running down the stretch.
yep.
I was glad that the weather was nice last week because it can turn on a dime, man. I
Yep.
can stand out there in 30-degree weather.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind that long as ain't no precipitation. I can big deal with that. Long as ain't no rain or snow. I mean,
Yeah.
I can put 6 layers on. I can do that.
The
I
problem
look like
is
a balloon coming to you.
doing the camera, my fingers, man.
Well, they can't for you. They can't. That's different. Well, it means it's tough to write too. Now I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
I can stand there. Ain't no problem with that.
So,
But my problem is trying to get in the press box. I won't be able to do that, so I stay outside.
Yeah, they don't give us newspaper people much love in the press box.
No, that's
Oh
And
no,
not
we don't
true,
get
man.
much love. That the radio people do. They get all these wrong. Horny, they don't even food. They just horny and set the stuff down. Go on. They don't even, you know.
Well, on
That's how
behalf
it
of
is.
Jeff Neal, follow him at the Murfreesboro Post, and Keith Ready on the radio at the Cannon Courier, and also go to the Cannon. It's going to be at the Cannon Square,
yeah, the
Candy
Woodbury
Christmas.
Square in Woodbury.
Woodbury Square. Actually, I may swing down there. You know,
Take you a little film footage of people getting pictures taken with Santa. Is that what it is?
I
Listen to
think
me
that would
play
be more.
and listen to me play Def Leppard Christmas songs.
Hey, play
Not go
some.
wrong
Hey
with that,
Keith.
man.
Hey Keith, play some Bob Rivers for him, will you?
Well, yeah, I was joking with my director of the Chamber of Commerce. I said, I'm going to play because we've got a bunch of churches that are going to be there. There's going to be a live nativity scene, by the way.
Oh,
That's
that's
going to be
cool.
there, camel and a donkey and all kinds
Awesome.
of good stuff and stuff. So I was joking around with my director, and I said, you know what? I said I'm going to start off the Christmas music with "Walking Around in Women's Underwear." It's a
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
song
gotta
by
like that
Bob
date
Rivers.
bag. Oh
Then
yeah.
we're gonna move on to "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer."
Reindeer.
And
Yeah.
then the song after that will be Grandpa got run over by a beer truck.
Well,
So
no, what you keep instead of grandma, play what Bob Rivers wrote. Osama got run over by a reindeer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, and
Osama got run.
please don't play that grandma song again.
Yeah,
we got
oh
that
yeah,
one.
oh yeah, don't play
But
that. People
no,
hate that, don't like that. Yeah, don't.
no, I won't be playing any of that
But
because we've got
play
churches
Osama
that are
got
gonna
one
be
over
around.
and play. Didn't I get this last year? Play that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Play and play it's the
I
most.
don't even know the songs you guys are talking about. So,
That song and play. It's the most fattening time of the year. Pass me
Yeah.
that hot butter roll. You can't go outside and exercise, so pass me that hot butter roll. It's the
And then
most fattening time of the year.
there's
It's a good
always the
thing.
classic Mistress for Christmas by AC/DC.
nice.
You got that. But no, Def Leppard actually, and you wouldn't think some of these rock bands come out with serious Christmas songs, but there are
Really?
some serious Christmas songs these guys come out with. Def Leppard's got one of my favorite bands, and I could talk about this all day long.
Yeah.
It's overseas. Their name is Gotthard. And if you ever heard the story about the lead singer, his name was Steve Lee. He was running the roads down in Switzerland, and he got killed in a car wreck. But everybody in in Sweden loved this band.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what they did was, how some bands find themselves successful when they try a new lead singer. Well, this band did that. They took rolled the dice, brought in a new lead singer, and they haven't missed a beat. And they
Hmm.
put out a Christmas song and stuff. It's Merry Christmas. It's a real nice song. There's going to be some, if you're into music and you want to come down, I'll play some songs for you that you
There
may
you
never
go.
have heard of before that are really cool
Well,
Christmas.
we got that other thing that we maybe working on soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I won't be
yeah.
playing any Christmas music over the loudspeakers at that other thing, okay?
So, all right. Well, till next week. This is Coach Labardi saying Faith Family Football. We'll see you.